Welcome to episode 2 of the True Daemon Lord podcast. I am your host. I had to think, no, not co-host. I'm the host. The True Daemon Lord, Franco, and I am joined by, of course, my two demonic co-hosts. I had to that way. Luke, say
Yes.
hello.
Hello.
For fuck's sake, and Byron, that one.
Hey everyone.
I'm not used to the. It's on the opposite side, isn't it? Because it's cameras and shit. So this is obviously we haven't. When did we do the first one? Back in July, wasn't it?
July 1942 or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I will take full responsibility. We were meant to film it, them two were ready, and then my life fell apart. I had loads of work and I was saving up for holidays and I just couldn't be asked to do it. So, but we are here because we are during LGT week. So, time of recording 2 days away, time of release the next day. But before we get into all of that, we're just going to briefly go over what we've all been doing. So, what's different since the last one? What have you been getting up to?
Very undemonic things, I'm afraid. I've been
Yeah.
some sort of emperor praying lover for some reason. So we don't talk about that too loudly.
No, he's playing Sisters. Boo.
Yeah, some players.
Boo. What about yourself, Byron? What have you been doing?
So, in the time since the last podcast, I probably had one tournament that I've been to. That's it, which was good. Other than that, I haven't really played much 40k, but I did win that tournament, which was nice.
You did, yeah. You smashed it. Myself, I've had an up and down time since the last tournament. So obviously, won the golden ticket. Amazing. And then also in the last 3 weeks, decided to just have the arse fall out of my complete form and just play like crap. So it's been interesting. But preparing for LGT, what?
I said back to usual then, yeah?
Yeah, normal. Usual service resumed. We got the golden ticket and then that was it. Decided just to fall apart. But so of course we are heading into LGT, and of course this is all demon related, the only demon related podcast in the world. So we are talking demons pretty much. Talking about the rankings and how we're getting on going into the last weekend of the UKTC season. We're going to go over the main event, mine and Byron's matchups, because Luke's not playing demons on the main event because he's a pussy. But me and Luke are playing doubles and we are both playing demons, and we will go into that as well. But before we do all that, let's do the bits I forget to do at the beginning of every video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively, and it allows us to just continue to do this and share all this awesome demon content with all of you. And then check up with Facebook and Instagram. We're going to do updates for LGT every game. I might even update on how these two get on, if I can remember to get their scores before I post. That's if I remember. That's if I remember to do my own. So let's talk about the ranking stuff first, just quickly. So we've got, obviously, you've got the Rogue Trader League, which is the one that tracks all of the RTTs and all that. And currently sitting at top of that is myself at 517. We're not going to go too deep into that because I feel like they were meant to put all the they were meant to backtrack all the scores, right? And they just haven't really done it, because you should have more, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one RTT on there for an entire year, and I've definitely played a few more than that.
And also, just a point behind someone who played 2 events. I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it? But I'm sitting like 200 points clear on that, and I'm gonna hopefully means I will actually win something, which is amazing. But I'm not gonna say yes, I've like smashed the shit out of it. Just most people haven't had enough events to put on there. But the one that does matter is the actual overall ranking. So obviously we got Josh Parry, who's absolutely smashed it, running just 4 events and sitting on 559. He's just 4 events he's had, right?
I believe so, yes. I think LGT will be his 5th. For Demons, anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, which is pretty nuts. Then myself at 539, so 20 points behind. Luke, who's sitting on 537, but that's it. You're capped out, so you are going no further up and will probably go down. And we're going to pull Byron away from his football for a second. because I could see his eyes keep going over. It's only Liverpool. You don't need to watch that shit. And Byron is sitting fourth at 535, but that is definitely going to change. And I can see Byron jumping all the way to the top. And then we might as well talk about a couple of the other people. We've got James Ball, who's sitting on 488, which with LGT can definitely jump high with a good result. And then Jack Sayer, who is a friend of the channel, on 480. So very interesting. I would say that obviously the top three being Josh, myself, and Byron all in with the chance to win it. But Josh is on very good form. Byron is very good at LGT. Me with me. Well, but you are insanely good when it comes to you're good at all the big events anyway, but you're insanely good at LGT. That was a compliment.
I don't. 100%. I don't understand why. Like you're right, but I don't understand why.
He gets all the pairing luck. All the pairing luck. That's what it is.
How did you get on last year?
18th.
Exactly, 5-0. Like you are just different gravy when it comes to LGT. So
yeah,
that's why I think you're generally gonna win out UKTC Demons, because you're going in like last year you went in what, like 7th and finished second. With something, it was a big jump, right?
I went in very far back and finished third. But you guys all thought I was going to probably end up top. To be honest, I thought I was going to end up top as well. But,
so did us. Even Hyde, I was like, oh, I see, I've not won it, and they was like, oh, I don't know how I held on to that. I was like, no, neither do I. So let's talk about me and Luke to talk about the doubles for a bit, and let Byron keep watching his football.
It's on in the background. Don't worry, my attention is all here.
As long as he keeps us up to date, that's what matters.
Yeah, man, it's only the League Cup. We don't care.
Trophies.
I'm just saying that because I'm anemic to trophies, both as a football fan and as a 40k player, apparently. Actually, I don't know where I put it. I wanted to show off my golden ticket. I finally got it, and I don't know where I put it.
So, you're just not used to looking after trophies, are you?
No, you're right. I put it down, and then it just disappeared. Balls. Oh well, it don't matter. So, we are playing in the doubles now. I've not played in a double event ever, and I think I might have had 2 double games in my life, and that was when I used to play at GWs, and we're going back 10 odd years ago. So for me, this is strange territory. But you've played in doubles, right?
Yeah, I've played 2 double events. Went 3-0 at one of them and 2-1 in the other. So no pressure.
Yeah. No, I mean we are going with the specific goal to just be irritating and loud, and then also.
Yes.
We'll see how we get on. I mean, it's not like we're taking Bradless. I think we've actually got a pretty good combination that can actually do quite well. But we've been on this now for like a year, right? Because you said to me at the last LGT on the Friday, you were like, "Yeah, I'm not into these RTT. Do you want to do doubles next year?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, why not?" And then it was like we're reminding, "Oh shit, yeah, we should probably book that." So I'll go into my list, and then I will let Luke talk about his list, and then because you've had my voice now for the last 10 minutes nearly, Luke will do all the talking on this, and I'll just butt in bits and pieces. So I'm going with Nurgle. We decided to pick a god each. I went with Nurgle, and I've got the ground clean one with the endless gift because he's amazing, a normal ground clean one, the Rotigus, 4 units Nurglings, and a unit of 10 plague bearers. So I kept it simple, easy, because I couldn't be asked with taking something like I wanted to do Zinch, but for Zinch I think I had to have taken like shit tons of Mikoras, and I'm just not doing that on a Friday night. I can't be asked. We play until 10. And also, we've got the whole main event to go, and I don't need that stress. So Nurgle is easy to play, plop everything down and just move forward. Plus, my job will be to hold objectives and screen out, and then let Luke do the rest of it. So I will give it a break for a minute and let Luke take over. Go ahead.
Okay, important question. Byron still 1-1? No, anyway. So, as we heard, Franco's doing all the scoring. So I'm going Corn, because I am literally taking 4 units. One of them, the legendary Hounds. Got to have some good doggo boys.
Love the doggo.
Got to have some doggos. And then we're going really, really complicated the next bit. We're having Scarbrand and 2 Bloodthirsters.
Not even Argov, just 2 Bloodthirsters.
Just 2 Bloodthirsters and Scarbrand. Because Bloodthirsters are amazing, aren't they, Franco? We love our Bloodthirsters.
No. I try and stay subjective for the channel. When I talk about them, I like to not give my biased views, but I am on the podcast. It's different. Fuck Bloodthirsters. Hate them with a passion. Cannot stand them. hate it, and they
So
hate me as well. The feeling is fucking mutual.
it is, but one or two things is going to happen. Franco's about to learn how good my bloodthirsters are, or Franco's
Yeah.
about to rub off on me and they're about to just die.
Either it'll be the first time bloodthirsters win me games, and they're not even my bloodthirsters, or because my luck is bloodthirsters take me so much, Luke's bloodthirsters for the first time ever will just do fuck all.
Yeah.
So we will see.
So I'm doing the killing and you're doing the scoring. I think that's the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, as players as well, it's kind of our thing, right? I don't really like doing the
Yeah,
killing
fair
thing.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 6 graded demons between us though, and then what, 4, 5 scoring units. So we're actually not bad.
Well, I have 1 scoring unit and 4 screening units.
Oh
It's
yeah, of
nervous.
course. Yes.
Unless we get like behind enemy lines or engage.
Cleanse.
I don't even know how does scoring work? Do we just draw cards between us?
Yes,
Is
it's
that
all
how it
done.
works?
We share CP, we share cards, we share everything except my beard. I'm not sharing that.
No, you can have that. But strats wise, because we can only there's me saying I'm not going to talk now. I'm talking. But strat wise, we can only use like if I use say we want to use Realm of Chaos for RP Downey. Oh, we can't split it between our units, right? It's like
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
good.
like
I think it's I think
yeah,
yeah,
it's
you
like
use it and then or I
yeah,
use it.
it's just like so we'll have to think. Fuck, who needs to RP Downey more in this turn? Ooh, interesting. Okay. Well, like I said, I'll be doing the scoring, you'll be doing the running and kicking people in the face. So
This
That's
is why
pretty
right.
W
So
doesn't
what
traditionally have the same faction twice.
I love the fact that we run in the same faction.
Yeah.
I love that because we are literally now like we probably have the best combination of gods. They're saying that Slanesh definitely has a word in there as well, but literally we have picked the best combination of just violence from Luke's side and just not die resilience on my side, which is I like. It's quite cool. So what do we have round 1?
So round 1, I got it in front of me. We're playing against Brothers in Arms. Now these lists look a bit fun, but they are just like we're double demons. We're up against double Space Marines because why wouldn't we be? The first one is Iron Storm. Um, Starts off with a nice Tech Marine Warlord, and then it gets fun. We've got a Ballistus Dreadnought, a Brutalis Dreadnought, a Brutalis Dreadnought, a Redemptor Dreadnought, a Redemptor Dreadnought, and a squad of Scouts because the Scouts are what makes that list dangerous. So
Yeah,
that's five. Was that 5 Dreadnoughts in that list?
that's fucking nuts. That is nuts.
It's fine. You brought all the killing with your Nurglings. The, the other list is Gladius. What would it be? Captain in Gravis armor, squad of heavy intercessors, another squad of heavy intercessors, and another squad of heavy intercessors, and then a squad of 6 aggressors. I guess they're going with the captain, and then here comes the good stuff. Ballistus Dreadnought, Redemptor Dreadnought. Just cause 7 Dreadnoughts now in total. They outnumber our greater demons with Dreadnoughts.
They do. That is that's fucking insane. Is it me? Like I said, never done doubles before. Is it just everyone goes, how stupid can I be with the doubles list? And then
I mean,
that just seems to
yes,
be what it is, right?
yes and no. I mean, a lot of people have done what we've done. Let's be honest. There's no points for this double thing, which is key to point out because it is very kept casual. Friday night, a bit of fun. So people are bringing all sorts of random stuff, but you can do some quite nasty combinations with different armies. We'll see if we run into any of those. But no, most times I've done doubles, people have just gone for a let's have some fun.
Yeah, and for me that's all it is, and for you as well, because you actually get to run some demons. For me, it's just we get to fuck about and be loud, and
Get told
also
off.
I'm just exactly, and we're just going to be really obnoxious. I just can't wait to just have no pressure playing 40k. Also, it'll be the first event I've ever not run Be'lakor in 10th edition, so that'll be interesting. Um, and then also, and that, again, I'm harping on like we're not trying to play like it's not good because our lists are actually a really good combination together. But 3 Grat and Clean ones and 3 Bloodthirsters is just funny. It is
Yes.
just immensely funny. Like I was talking about some of my like some people local to me. I was at a couple of events over the last few weeks, and they're in the doubles as well. When we were talking about lists, I told them about our list, and they were like, "What the fuck?" They're like, that's horrible. I'm like, I thought it was fun. It's like, no, it's quite grim. So we'll see. I'm quite
Be
looking
good.
forward to that. Actually, I genuinely think that is going to be my favorite part of the weekend. But we'll see. I'm actually really looking forward to it, and also just being able to have a laugh, because I think that's really what we're trying to do in it. It's not.
I
Though
mean,
saying that, I do want to also do well if we
oh,
can.
obviously, yeah. But it's like anything. LGT is a great event, but it can be quite pressuring with 800, there's 800 and something people in the end.
Yeah,
And so
8:30.
sometimes, just put a volume through the roof and deafening myself. So sometimes Friday night is just a great way of getting into the room, getting used to the atmosphere, meeting everyone you don't already know, or meeting up with people again you haven't seen in a year. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw Byron at an event. Um,
Probably last LGT.
yeah, probably it was.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. So it's catching up with everyone again, and then it sort of takes the pressure off a little bit from Saturday because you're in a more relaxed and you're off.
Yeah, it's just a chance to like get into the 40k mood, get it playing without actually having any pressure, and also because with the RTT, so I played the RTTs last year and the year before,
So that I
and it's
played.
just
Yep.
it was I went into both events like the following days, just feeling like fuck, I'm playing 8 games rather than like I feel like the Friday is just going to be fun, and it's not going to feel like I've played 40k. Whereas last year and the year before, it was just like, oh, I've still got 5 more games to go of this, and yeah,
So I did the bit of different with the RTT last year though because of this reason. I actually brought I think it
Knights,
was
man, it
yeah
Chaos Knights.
Night Tyrant, two big knights and like three or four small, and that was it. And just went, I'm going to enjoy this. I lost a guy from the US. I actually beat Mark who on his Necrons, but I did one shot
Yeah,
Catan. Don't know how that happened. Um, as you do, and
nice.
then I now drew my last game. So I was like 1-1-1 with
Wow, you went
house.
1-1-1.
I was quite happy with
Insane.
that.
I went into the first game, got elder, and they were still pretty nuts, weren't they? So I lost that game, and then literally just I then played someone who I knew, and we had a really weird game where just there was some weird rules things that would I don't know, and I kind of gave up, and I was like, do you know what? I said to Courtney, let's go get dinner, and I just shook his hand. I was like, no offense, I don't want to play anymore, and I just kind of walked away. Not in a bad way, not in a salty way. It was just like I've just realised I've got 3 more games this tomorrow. Can't win this RTT. There is just no point. And someone else was dropping, so I just thought screw it. Um, but so that is the doubles. I'm quite looking forward to that. And then obviously you're running sisters for the weekend, so
Yeah.
um, boo. But we are now going to move on to the main event. So that is Saturday and Sunday. That's where all the meat and potatoes of everything is. Um, so me and Byron obviously playing demons because loyal and all that shit. But we are playing almost identical lists, right? And I don't know whether by accident or just the fact that we are just so similar when it comes to lists that we kind of always kind of gravitate into similar things. Like we like a lot of the same units, right?
Yeah, for sure. Um,
So
we're big fans of Plague Bearers, Nurglings, Blood Crushers, Fiends, Screamers, Flamers. And then you add to that the big monsters we like to use as well. So we've just naturally ended up with similar lists.
yeah. So I think the difference is our flavor of sexy lady, right? And then
Yeah,
like branching off from that. So since again I've been talking, don't I really want one of those? I need
same.
one. I'm gonna see if I can get one for the Take to America with me and just have them sat next to me for all 8 games.
Because I've been the traitor, he's actually coming with me this weekend.
Well, and to be fair, actually, I like that. You have him sat there watching those fucking sisters play.
He's going
Yeah.
to look after my miracle dice.
Make sure he needs to ensure that the sisters rot whilst you're playing.
Yes.
Like we want you
Yes.
to
But
do
they have
well,
to
but at the same time, you've betrayed Father Nurgle
Yes, so he's going to punish me somehow.
just by sitting there and smiling at your face.
I'm going to make all your miracle dice ones.
fucking miracle dice. I hate miracle
Ugak is
dice.
going to eat all of your miracle dice.
Probably will.
Yeah, Kogath. Yeah, I love Kogath. I'm so sad they pulled him out of the game. I get why they did, because that model would just be a nightmare to make. But anyway, we're tangenting here. We need to get back onto track. Damn it. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, the main event.
LGT, similar list.
So again, let me get my list out of the way with. Then you talk about your list, and then I'll let you do a little bit of talking. So the list I decided on in the end, I kind of had a bit of a crisis moment with my list. I took something I've been mostly running for the last few months and then changed it slightly. But I've got Be'lakor, of course. I don't want to keep going into it. We know what Be'lakor does. I still love Be'lakor. Fat Boy with with the Endless Gift because he's still amazing. And then I went with the Keeper. Actually, before we move on to him, the Ground Clean one, just quickly. So normally you don't really care about the war gear. I actually changed it up. So I took the flail off and took the bile blade because I'm finding that I'm not using it as often as I would like. I'm not using it that often. Whereas when I change it up just to test it out, when I was getting charged for people to try and take the objective, because I have him on a position of the objective where they have to charge him, and that actually was coming in handy with just stopping people taking the objective off me. And it's such a minimal change, but actually quite a nice little change. So I gave him the bar blade, and obviously we still got the big sword. And then we've got the keeper with Soul Stealer because she's already tough, so being able to get wins back is amazing. And then obviously the Aegis because who takes the whip and the dagger over the Aegis. Um, and then 3 Nurglings, 10 Plague Bearers, 6 Blood Crushers, 6 Fiends, 3 Fiends, 3 Fiends, because as I moved to 3 times 3, I didn't like, I wanted just that bit more extra punch, so I took the extra unit of 6. And then 3 Instant Screamers, which I actually think I made a mistake on. I almost changed it and I just didn't. I should have made one of those Flamers just to deal with the GSC matchup or the Drukari matchup. And I'll blame fucking that one. I'll blame him for that because he no, not you, Byron. Because he always bangs on about flamers. I'm just like, no, I just don't like them. And then I was like, no, why? He's right. And then I just forgot to change it. And so I'm stuck with 3
If
years.
you had a squad of flamers instead of a squad of screamers, you'd be even closer to my list.
Would literally almost be identical. So
Yeah.
that is my list. I'm not gonna like that. That's what I went with. I'm still confident I can do well with it. I'm just a bit. I think I'm a bit knocked for confidence because of my bad events recently. So I think that's why I'm a bit scared about my first matchup. But we'll get into that in a minute. So I'll let Byron go over his copy of my list that he changed slightly to make it a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Franco's
I
definitely
said I
influenced.
sent you my list before you sent me your list. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. I mean, don't take into account that this list is the same that I won a tournament with like 2 months ago. But sure. Okay, so Bossman Be'lakor is in there as always. We've got Great Unclean One, the fattest boy with the endless gift. I have stuck with the flail. And we were talking about this. I still like the flail for just a couple of extra shots on Overwatch. More often, to be honest, he gets to use the flail on Overwatch because someone is actually within 6 of him. Because they're trying to take an objective off of him in the movement phase, which is not very
Yeah,
nice. You know,
I am. I
anyone shouldn't
don't.
be
Yeah, I
allowing.
don't feel like it's a big. I don't feel like it's a massive decision. Like I don't think it's going to make a difference either way for either of us. It was just like, screw it. I just want a couple extra attacks in combat so I can actually have a chance at maybe doing a bit more damage with them in combat. I really don't think it's a big deal either way, is it really, to be fair?
Nah, for sure, for sure. It comes down to what you prefer. Do you want a little bit better in combat? Do you want a little bit better on shooting? Really, and either way, it's not a huge change. Then we have the third big monster, which is the first different point from Franco. He's got the keeper. I've got Shalaxi, the queen, and
Queen
hope to
herself.
smash some faces in. Then we have another change, the changeling, instead of the
Oh,
mask.
just quickly, yeah. I didn't even mention the mask. I've got the
You
mask
didn't
as well
mention
because
the
I've got
mask.
loads of stuff. I completely forgot about her.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
where
it's only
Franco's
because
got a squad
I've
of
got the
six
keeper
fiends,
and yeah,
because you got that squad of 6 fiends, the mask is important. Um,
yeah,
and she
and for
can
the keeper as
hold the
well.
keeper. Yeah, she definitely helps your list more than she helps mine, I feel like, because
Yeah, definitely.
I do have 3 squads of fiends, but I don't really use them for damage dealing in the same way that you do. They're more just kind of surveyors of the battlefields, go where they need to.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, we've got Changeling, we've got 3 squads of Fiends, we've got 2 squads of Nerdlings. Um, the second squad is purely in there because I had spare points and I didn't have anything else to put in. Um, I normally only run 1 squad. Everyone pretty much knows that. The most I normally go to is a squad of 6. If I really want to screen something and screen some scouters, stop a giant Death Star from moving somewhere. I'll just have a squad of 6 for block something for 2 turns. But I decided on 2/3s this time. Felt like I needed an extra unit somewhere. We've got a squad of Plague Bearers, pretty standard. Pretty much every demon list nowadays has a squad of them. We've got 6 Blood Crushers. We've got a squad of 3 Flamers and a squad of 3 Screamers. So essentially, the difference between mine and Franco's lists, I've got 3 less Screamers, I've got 3 less Fiends, and I've got 3 more Nurglings, upgrading Keeper to Shalaxi. So I'm
changing a still in a mask, but
yeah.
I feel like you've they're almost the same, except you can see where our play styles differ, right? Because I've always been more resilience over damage, so I've always liked it. Whereas, so the keeper, whereas you've taken to Shalaxi, which is, I mean, I kind of wish I had Shalaxi going into my first game, but at the same time, I still love the keeper. She's very good. Just different role. And then obviously, I love having a couple extra. Like I ran the 2 units of screamers, and I hated it. I wanted that 3rd unit, like 3rd scoring unit. So whereas I feel like our emphasis on multiple scoring units, you don't mind having a couple units, whereas I prefer to have 3 extra units to do some stuff.
The
So,
reason being, like I said, with my Fiends, I know they're super expensive to be doing this with, but when you have a model like Shalaxi on the table that is capable of killing as much as she is, you can afford to use Fiends almost as um, action monkeys and just use them for turns where they're basically going to be doing nothing. So I was finding times like putting more action units into my list, like more screamers, like more flesh hounds. I'm using them to do actions, and they're going to places. They're having to be put somewhere on the table where I would normally put fiends to do the same action. And then my fiends end up being in a different place. They're too far back to charge something the next turn, etc. But they're still not being killed. So I was thinking, well, I could just be doing the same with the fiends,
yeah.
essentially.
I mean, I get it fully. Like that's why I still like the 2 units of 3 fiends, because I like them as both like the chance to just contest and try and take an objective of small stuff, but also if I need my screamers to do something else or my screamers are dying, then I can use the fiends, the little units of fiends to do the bits and pieces. And then the idea is that I've kind of gone with whether it works out or not. And I guess you can do the same thing, is Be'lakor and the Crushers kind of team up and then drop and spit them out, and then Keeper with the 6 fiends and the mask. So I kind of have like multiple like mini hammers, because I guess I rely on combinations to do my damage, whereas you've got Schlock, so you can just yeet her into something and it will generally die.
Yeah.
Um, but saying that, I was thinking about our list earlier, right? Because I was obviously thinking about my first matchup and where I'm going to struggle a bit with the damage. And then I was like, outside of Shalaxi, like I don't really feel like I feel like my damage. If we would take Shalaxi and the Keeper out, I feel like my damage is probably better just because of the 6 fiends with the mask. So yes, you've got Shalaxi where if you need something to die, you can get Shalaxi into it and it will die. But thinking more about it, I was like, my damage is decent. It's just T11 or T10, T11 is a bit of a bastard to deal with in mass, right? Which is why you don't mind going into your first matchup, because you know you can probably kill at least 1,000 points with Shalaxi.
Oh, listen, my first matchup, if I was using your list, I'd be screwed. I would hate that game.
Mate, I had to think I fucking feel. I was like, just don't give me mass T10. What did I get? Mass T10, T11, T12. I was like, fuck. So
Luke, Izzy had a bloodthirster now.
Yeah, I tell you what,
nah,
my
nah.
list is 2 bloodthirsters, 18 crushers, and then some fiends. That does the job for T10.
Scarbrand, where are you?
Exactly.
Save me.
It solves the issue for T10. I never tend to have an issue with my kind of lists.
See, but that I don't like that. That's just boring. No, I
Dude,
like to be like,
you're
can
gonna
I
have
knock
to
those
use
last couple of wounds
Bellicor
off?
in combat to kill Nid monsters.
I'm gonna have to. So the thing is, right? I was thinking when I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, fuck. Now I'm gonna have to use Be'lakor to do this and do that, and I'm like, that is a really sad state that I have to think, oh shit, Be'lakor, and then I'm like, I am underselling Be'lakor because I know we slag him off, but Be'lakor is still half decent. Like he's first of all, he's my only strength 9 plus in my list. Everything else is strength 8 or less. Though I have loads of pluses to wound, all that shit, like A plus to wound and minus toughness, all that crap.
And he still doesn't.
But Bellator, huh?
And he still doesn't kill a Maleceptor.
Depends. 4-up invuns in it. I mean, I'm gonna
Hexagreen would be alright. Tyrannofex, he'd probably be alright. Maleceptor.
So I played Nids last weekend, and he killed an Exocrine and a Tyrannofex in 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
So he does do that.
Whereas they don't have an
Shinx-
invun, Franco.
Huh?
They don't have an invun.
I know, hence why he killed them.
Yeah.
If it was a Maleceptor, he doesn't. He struggles. It depends. Everyone, like I was speaking with, like mentioning it in the 6++ chat earlier, like what I'm going into, and Davey, who's like one of the NID experts, right? He was like, oh, like you'll be fine. Just roll 4-ups. I'm like, fuck. If every demon player just took that advice and just did it, every demon player would win every event ever, right?
Easy,
It's like everyone goes, roll 4-ups. Oh yeah, because that's really easy to do. I mean, if I roll 4-ups and 5-ups, then fine, I will win. But it's not that easy. So
no, you're like your Franco. You'll play against T-Suns and roll all the 4-ups and get Dev Wounds off the board instead.
You say that. I love going into Thousand Suns because I've played against them 3 times in the last 2 months, and I've had them fail to kill the ground clean. I think it was something like 12 mortal wounds plus Magnus plus Araman's Flamer Bomb, and they took like 8 wounds off the ground clean one overall. And it was like, what the fuck? I'm like, yes. Saying that, he's having a horrid time at the moment. In the last 3 events, he has died on turn 1 or 2 in 9 games, I think 6 of them. So he needs to pick the slack up. Yeah, it's not good. I'm telling you, it's not just me. Everything in my whole list is just deciding to just fuck this shit. I'm just not having it. We've got to the end of the season. We're tired, and we're running out of steam.
Luke, I think you need to give Franco the plushie for good luck.
Yeah, I think I need it. I really think I need it. And then if I go 5-0, I promise you, I'll credit you to it. There is. I can't. I need to get one of those. I've been wanting to get one of those for fucking ages.
If you
have
go
you seen the big
5-0,
one?
I'll be sat there going, you had an advantage. You had Grotty on your side.
If I don't go 5-0, yeah,
if you do go 5-0, 100% you will if you've got him next to you.
To be fair, Byron, I'm actually more worried that if Franco borrows it, it might also get killed at this rate.
To be fair, I wouldn't. At the moment, I really wouldn't even let me borrow it. So round 1, if you haven't already got the hint from it, I am playing Nids, really heavy monster Nids. So I don't really know. Like I've played a few Nid lists recently, but I say recently, like in the last 2-3 months, I think I've played 2 or 3 times, and they've all been Invasion or another one. So I'm playing Crusher, which has 3 Tyrannofexes, which are absolute. One they like D6 plus 6 damage or something like that.
Yeah, and they're 2 shots.
Pretty. Yeah, they're only 2 shots, and I have Bellator, so they're not the scariest thing in the world.
Did you just say only 2 shots on a D6 plus 6 damage weapon?
I did say that, yes.
Oh,
Saying that they can hit on 2s, right? Okay, I take that back.
A Hammerhead has the same amount of damage, and that gets 1 shot.
I mean, they can one-shot Bellator pretty easy.
Yeah.
Which is scary. And then he's got 2 Maleceptors, 2 Exocrines. The scariest thing in this list is the Trigon, because it can just 3-inch deep strike, and he can do that from rapid ingress. So I don't like that. 3 Lictors, which I hate, absolutely hate, because I found out it's like, 3 Fiends, I can deal with a Lictor, except it fights first, and apparently a Lictor can pick up 2 Fiends out of 3 pretty easy. Well, at least I found that out in the game I played recently. Whether I just got unlucky, I don't know, but it was pretty grim. And then he's got a Hive Tyrant, and I think he's got 10 Hormagaunts, 10. What's the flying dudes? The little flying dudes? Gargoyles, that's it. So for me, I'm looking at that thinking, shit. And you said it earlier, Byron, about kill everything around it, deal with the monsters if I have to. And I think you're right. But I'm hoping to go second. If I can go second, I can play reactive, which is how I want to play. And then maybe if I get lucky, try and secret mission it to win it at the end. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's a difficult matchup. It's definitely a hard one for my list because of all the T10, T11, T12. But I don't even know what Crusher does. I know it gets some extra AP on the monsters when they're not damaged, and I think he's got a strat to run through walls with 1 monster, which is a little bit worrying against Maleceptors, but we'll see. I think he's also.
Right? bar the Tyrannofexes, they should also really struggle to kill your monsters.
Yes, they're not actually monster killers, are they?
No.
No, so I feel like Be'lakor we'll see. But as far as the Keeper and the Grand Clean go, I think I can actually keep them around for a while unless I let him get like 4 months. If they dogpile it, then they'll kill it. But if I can dance around them, which obviously I can do, yeah. So it's gonna be a really interesting game. It's gonna come down to how I play it, and if I play it like an idiot, then I'm gonna lose. If I play it smart and I can try and play it, I guess it's an interesting one. It's one of those games where I don't really want to think too deep into it because I know I'll get into my own head. I'll play it when I get to the table, but I would say it's definitely not the ideal start I wanted. But
Should have bought some melters.
we will see.
Just roll
Should have
4-ups.
just
Roll
yeah,
4 up.
just roll 4 ups. It's
Yeah.
literally that easy.
It's
Like if
so
I was any,
easy.
I mean,
Just roll 4
that's
ups.
what people on Facebook would say, right? Just roll 4 ups, and
Roll
like
4 ups.
everyone else, like that's all you do. Um,
Bring
so
bring a D20 and just keep rolling 4 ups.
I'll still roll fucking ones on them.
Knowing Franco's luck, it would still be 1s, 2s, and 3s.
One. I've got a
I
couple
have just
of
rolled a 3 on it, so I'm not going to comment. Put that away.
So that's my dilemma going into day one, but we'll see. I'm actually quite looking forward to it because it's like a puzzle to try and unlock, right? And I think the guy's actually a fairly decent player when I looked him up on like the uh UKTC just to get an idea. So we'll see. So Byron, I mean, I feel like you actually got a matchup that isn't terrible for you, unless you lose Shalaxi early, in which case it'll be a bit of a fucker.
I'll be honest, if I lose Shalaxi early, it's probably game over. And also, I've done something really stupid. And I've
Yes.
basically just given away my only tool for the game.
Mhm.
Because I'm going into this game bringing knives to a gunfight, except for that one knife that is bigger than the table, which is Shalaxi. Um, so it's
That is the best
Imperial
description of
Knights.
Shalaxi ever.
Yeah. She's turning up with the biggest weapon as well. Let that be known. The spear is bloody massive.
Literally the size of a knight, like a
Yeah,
big knight.
yeah. And how it penetrates the armor, I don't know. Just very, very precise, I guess. Um,
She's
We don't ask that question of
she's
Slanesh.
no, we definitely don't.
don't ask penetration questions from Sane. They're experts at it. They're experts at it. Forget that. Right.
they are. Yes.
So it's, if anyone hadn't guessed already, it's a form of knights. It's Imperial Knights. Shout out to Ben, my opponent. I love the list name as well. Big Dog's Gotta Eat.
Brilliant.
So we've got Canis Rex, of course. Don't think he's
Obviously.
in any Imperial. In every Imperial Knight list nowadays. He's just that good. He is going to be a problem because I've not played against him before.
Shalaxi does kill him.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
had this.
To
Shalaxi
be
kills
honest
him and
with
it's
you,
not.
I'm going in thinking that Shalaxi kills any big knight in a round that she pretty much touches.
She does.
Yeah, so including with softening up a little bit with shooting from her and Bellicor would do the job. We then have a couple of Cerastus Knights. We've got an Atropos with the Mysterious Guardian Relic. So that is the once per game up and down, and he's got Deep Strike built in. I'm not quite sure what he does, to be honest, but I know the Las Cutter is like a close range anti-vehicle / anti-monster weapon. And then he's got a Graviton cannon as well. I think that's more anti like heavy infantry kind of thing. Then we've got a Lancer. He's probably the only one for Shalaxi to worry about in terms of
Because of
one that
that
because of the
tank
invun.
shot, isn't it? Yeah.
Invun in combat.
And invun in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Then we have 3 Armageddon Warglaves, all with heavy stubbers and thermal spears. We've got a Calidus, pretty standard, allied in. We've got priests, Zealot's Vindictor. I think that is a flamer. So that's the little Ministerium priest with the souped up flamer. And we've got a Subductor squad. So I've been talking to friends about these Subductor guys. Basically, the Judge Dredd dudes with mauls and shields. Now, for 85 points, they get a 3-up armor save and a 4-up invuln on 10 models.
That's our trick.
Well, no, that's not even our trick. What do bloodletters and demons just not allowed anything? No,
So they are
I
only
just
toughness 3, and their
What
combat
do
is
you
pretty
then?
rubbish.
and they're
But
what?
their combat is pretty rubbish as well. Because I think they hit on 4s. They've got a couple of attacks, strength 4, AP1, whatever, right? But every time I speak to people who are playing Imperial and they're allying some kind of Imperial agents in, I always say take these subductors because
Yeah, they're
85
easy.
points is ridiculous for that.
It's just another example innit, of just fuck demons. That is literally what it is. At
Yeah,
this point, it's so annoying.
get
Who's
shot by
disputing that it's
AP0, you've
basically
got a better
demonettes are
save.
cheaper?
Yeah, exactly. Even when they get shot by AP0, they've got a 3-up save. They get
Yeah,
shot by
or
AP1, they got a
or
4-up
Trump.
inbun. Better inbun. Better inbun than demonettes.
So annoying. Why? What do they hate us that much? Do they really hate us that much?
I think their only downside is their OC1, but yeah, who cares at that point when they're that
No,
cost?
yeah, that's annoying.
So yeah, it's a really interesting list, but I think the thing that gives me hope is that there's not a lot of screening for the big guys. So I think there's going to be quite a few openings for Shalaxi to get into what she wants to most of the time. And as long as I can basically force those openings, I should be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think she'll actually be okay. She's always the key in the night matchup. As long as you don't give her away, which you're not going to give her away, you'll be good, I think. But
Well,
that
the key
those
factor is I'm not a heavy drinker, especially not of Warhammer tournaments.
me
So
neither. I don't. I was waiting for that. I was like, me neither. And I was like, I know Luke likes to drink. So
Luke
I
is like,
I'm drinking on stream like round fucking like 9. Not swearing already. 9 o'clock in the morning last time.
yeah, yes, you were. That was funny. Um, yeah, I mean, me neither. I don't do I don't really drink much anyway. So saying that, I think I'm going to be the sober one on Friday, right?
Yes.
But move my bloodthirster. Where? I don't know how to play the bloodthirster. What am I moving?
I'll be like, no, Franco, you touch my bloodthirster, we lose. Do not touch that bloodthirster.
Yeah, you're
I'll do
right.
it while
That
drunk.
was
I'll be like
even
measuring
me.
tape measures up on the
You
ceiling.
you will still play the bloodthirster better drunk than I would sober, and it's not even close. So we'll let you deal with that.
he's just going to
So
casually
how?
like kill a Satan with a bloodthirster
Yeah,
in one
Yeah,
turn.
well, piss
easy,
that in
easy.
his head.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about your first round? Generally, like
Um,
just short. Yeah.
Generally, I think I'm pretty confident, but you know, Shalaxi versus Knights is the reason I'm confident. Like we
Yeah.
said, if I was going into it with your list, or if I was going into it with um, pretty much any other killy monster besides Shalaxi, I'd be less confident. And that's the exact reason
Starbrand,
he goes in the list.
Scarbrand's probably the only other one I would be fairly confident just because of the flat 6 damage.
That's
Um,
true, but he's not enough to kill the big knights on his own.
mm,
Not certainly not. He doesn't have the reliability. He dies a lot easier to them as well when he gets hit back. So
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be super confident with just Scarbrand. If I took Scarbrand, I would then want a Bloodthirster as well, and that completely changes the list.
So I will say, stop ragging on my list. God damn it! Like I know we're saying my list is less damage, but there's a reason
And
for
no,
that. It's because
hey,
it's
no,
how I
listen,
play.
I'm not hitting on your list in that regards. Yeah, your list is
I,
really good, but not against three big knights, mate. It's just the
no,
reality.
I agree. If I rock up to a table this weekend and someone's got 3 big nuts, I think I'll generally cry. But saying that, unless I play like I have been recently, we all have our different play styles, right? Unless it's why I always play these lists where I'm like pulling damage out of nowhere and like killing things to the wound. So, but yeah, no, 3 big knights is a bit of a problem.
So,
To
like
be
your
fair, I
list, for
actually think
example, is probably better into Thousand Suns than mine is.
my
That's just one
my
example.
list my list is better into Thousand Suns. I think I'm better into my list is pretty good into anything that's like mid to low range. So world eaters, marines, all that kind of armies that are sitting at T6 to T4, 2-3 wounds. Like I'm pretty good into all that. It's just when you start playing into fucking 9 Tyranid monsters that are all 10 T10 plus, then you run into something you don't want to play, and I'm like, shit. So, but then that's the way it should be. I think every list should be rock paper scissors. No list should be every list. That's when a list is
Yeah,
just
of
generally
course,
broken.
of course. Everything has a
So,
weakness.
Definitely.
well,
The
mostly.
game wouldn't be the game if everything didn't have a weakness.
No. And to be fair, I think 10th edition is in the best spot it's been, period. Like, I think this is the best it's been. It says all that when you look at all the top players, even though sisters are pretty good at the moment, like all the top players are, it's so much variety. Like, I think this is the first time where you can actually pick at random 6 top players and you could probably grab 6 different factions. Or at least mostly, maybe duplicate 1 or 2 like with sisters, but like I feel like you look at a lot of them and there's a lot of variants. Also, I don't know if you saw like the breakdown of the factions, but there's an interesting breakdown. I think the most played faction this weekend is Crons, which
Yep.
isn't that surprising. I feel like everyone has Crons. And then it's World Eaters, which is, I would say, surprising. I don't think it's that surprising. I think for UKTC terrain, I think World Eaters are insanely good.
I was just about to say this terrain
Insanely good.
pack, fourth
Yeah,
floor.
it is nuts for World Eaters. Even we have 30 players, which I think is quite good considering every faction is represented and there's 800 odd players. I think 30 players is pretty
There's
good.
30 demon
Um,
players.
there's 30 demon
No,
players.
no, I mean there's actually 30 people that own demons.
There, yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
You're
Well,
in
one of those is from the US. Um,
yes.
being Mr. Kevin Leonard, which we do want to talk about his list. Have you got his list up, Luke?
Let me sort out Kevin. Right, so we've got Kevin Leonard coming from the US. He's a great guy, lovely guy when he remembers to submit his list. Right.
I'm gonna rag on him all weekend for that.
Oh, so am I.
Really good.
So he is more of the demon style of me, of likes to eat people alive and bully them. So
I just saw the list.
you can sort of guess. You just seen the list, have you? So I'm going to start with the bottom because I don't want to reveal the top. It's got three skull cannons. No,
Hold
no?
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stop. Just before we move into that, this is also the list that he top forward Adepticon with, right? So
Yes.
this guy is different level. Doesn't matter what list he's running. I hate his list, but obviously he knows how to use it. Go for it.
So three skull cannons. Good start. Three squads of the best doggos in the game, the Flesh Hounds. One Ren Master and three squads of 6 Blood Crushers. Right, the rest of the units are where it gets interesting. He has the legend that is a Bloodthirster. He has another legend that is the Bloodthirster with the enhancement. And then he's got the most killy unit of all. He has a squad of 3 Nurglings. So he's gone
Yeah,
for double
it's insane.
Bloodthirster, Red Master, 18 Crushers, Skull Cannons. He's going to cause you all the battle shocks. It's just designed to kill you. Should I have a quick
That
look?
is how you do I still don't like it, but that is how you do the 18 blood crusher list, right? I think not like what Manny is doing and trying to shake it up with the mask and fucking the ground clean one, which is still good, but and also he's insane though. He almost took his Nurgle list, and his Nurgle list is 3 ground clean ones, Rotigus, and triple soul grinder, and I had to tell him, like, beg him, do not bring that because it will not work. Why not? It works. Well, it works over here. I'm like, yes, over there. Over here, you have to use bases. You don't have to use bases over there. You will cry in
Yeah.
all 5 of your games if you do that. It was like, okay, fair point. I was like, yes, fair point. But yeah, so
And down is your best friend if you use soul grinders in the UK. That's all
Yeah.
you've got to
no,
move anywhere.
I would love to be able to run them, but I just refuse to on the dinner plates. Refuse to, because you just can't on UKTC. You just have no hope.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got a horrendous matchup round 1.
he's got sisters. I know. I saw. I was like,
Sisters.
that's grim.
Who
But
brings
I think
sisters?
huh?
I said, who brings
I
sisters?
know who take. I know what fucking moron takes sisters.
Exactly.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think he's actually going to do really well. So I wanted to do a prediction-y thing slightly where we get on and we'll talk about how we think each other are going to get on, and we'll even include you, Luke, even though you're on sisters.
It's fun.
So I want to start because I want to get the nice bit out of the way with because I expect not so nice after. But get the nurgling away. So
He's a great unclean
I
one.
think
Oh, he's a nurgling.
right. I'll start with Luke. Right. So because he's running sisters. Actually, do you know what? Tell us your list. Go for your list.
Okay, so my list is pretty much not far off traditional. You've got Morden and you've got the Triumph, because why wouldn't you have both of those? I have a squad of 3 Arcos because I had the points. It's almost like their version of a Nurglings. I have triple Emulator, triple Castigator, triple Dominion, triple Seraphim, and then some Warsuits.
No Exorcist.
No Exorcist, no Indirect. I've still got 6 tanks, Warsuits, more Flamers than I know what to do with, and more Melters. Plenty of Melters for your 2 matchups round 1 if you want to borrow them.
Mate, I could use them. I really could use them.
Can I use your miracle dice, Luke?
Yes,
That would really help.
I've got
yeah, no, yeah. Fuck the melters. Give me the miracle dice. I'll
Yeah.
take them all then.
Then a great unclean one can kill a knight if I have miracle dice.
Fair point. And to be fair, I'll find out round 1 because I'm also playing against Knights.
I just don't know how. Like, if I run into that or something like that, I just don't know how to beat that. I have no idea how to beat that. I just feel like it's just got so much. That's the problem when you run into someone that has a list that is just so. Like, you can block out, you can trade, and then the castigators are just grim. Are they still grim? I've actually not played into Sisters with the Codex, but they used to be really grim.
I mean, against you guys, they're less grim because the AP stacking doesn't matter. But they're still D6 plus 3 shots, strength 10, AP 1, 3 damage. It just builds up. There's 3 of them. And the big thing is, against them, all you just got to do is roll your 4-ups.
You know what?
We'll just use
Franco's had enough of this.
I'm going to come to you after game 1 and I'm either going to be like, I rolled them all, or I rolled none. I just know it. I hate it. So, going into the weekend or coming out of the weekend, I think you're, Luke, I think you're going to go 4-1, only because I feel like you're going to end up getting to 4-0, which I think you will. And then you'll run into someone like Jack Tight or Ed Watts on Sisters. Because I just feel like once you get to that higher bracket, you'll start running into Sisters, because I think they're the 4th or 3rd most represented faction this weekend. And not to say anything on you, like, you can definitely go 5-0. I just feel like someone like Jack Tight, who's been running Sisters for fucking ages, and he's also insanely good. I'm not saying you will run into him, but I think 4-1, though, you are capable of the 5-0. I just think 4-1, just because of that, you'll hit that kind of really high level.
There's always going to be matchups. I mean, like my last year's was horrendous, but we don't discuss that. That it's so LGT is so pairing heavy because you literally could go and play round 1. You could play, could play yourself or Byron. Round 2, you lose that. You could still pair into like a Manny who just happened to also get a bad round 1, and before you know it, you've gone 0-3, and you're looking around going, but 0-3, but I played Byron, Manny, and I don't know, some other amazing player, because that's what LGT is.
Yeah, it really is. That's the thing for LGT. You can either, like my first LGT, I almost finished 3rd because, again, I had 4 really good pairings, and my last game I lost to someone who's a notorious cheater, but we won't talk about that. It doesn't matter. It was years ago. And then my last few years, I've had middling results. Last year 3-1-1, which was actually an okay result. Like, just because you can either have the run where you just get all the good matchups, or run where you just get multiple bad matchups. And so I think as well, I think you're gonna go 4-1 as well, Byron, just because I think knowing similar, we're running almost the same list anyway. I know where the weaknesses are, and I just feel like you're gonna go. Well, I can see you going 4-0 as well, but then again, I just think there's too many factions at the moment that can.
Well,
too many lists.
What we haven't told you is me and Byron round 5, so one of us is going 5 now.
Well, there we go. Then you make me look like an idiot, didn't you? See, what? Or you draw, and there's 4-1-0, and now I look like an even bigger idiot.
That would be sad.
But again, I'm copping out by saying this, but again, we both know you are very capable of 5-0. And so, and to be fair, if I'm not going to win it, which I don't think I'm going to win the number 1 spot, I want you to win it, obviously. So I am rooting for you as much as, unless I'm also on that 4-0 at that point, and then I'm like, screw you, I want to win it. But no, I think
you're like, if I've lost a game before that, all good. But if you're if I'm 4-0 last game, you'll be rooting for me.
I'll be rooting for you either way. It doesn't matter. Like it as much as I do want to win it, I also won't cry if you win it. But no, I think 4-1 just because I think at the moment I think there are just a few too nasty matchups out there for us. Not to say that you can't win them because you definitely can. I just feel like there are some matchups that are just like really uphill, and sometimes just feel a bit almost unwinnable. Maybe not unwinnable, but almost. But again, I can see either of you potentially going 5-0 with the right lead ups. I feel like you both got a good round one matchups, so you can bounce off of that.
Do you know when we talk about our worst kind of matchups, I always say World Eaters. I always bring it up to you, Franco. I hate playing against
Yeah,
World
what they're horrible. World
Eaters.
Eaters, Black
Moving
Templars.
armies, right?
Yeah,
I am going to run into them at some point, and I feel like that will be one of my losses. So, I can even see myself going 3-2, to be honest, with the amount of World Eater players that are there. But as always, I'll try and be as on it as I can and be hopeful for a 5-0.
yeah, you definitely can. But like you literally hit the nail on the head. I think those type of like Marines and World Eaters, those kind of high, the armies that can put out a lot of high pressure combat units, just cause us issues. And World Eaters, like you said, that's the whole reason why I put Nagans back in my list was just for World Eaters. And seeing that there's like the second popular faction this weekend is World Eaters. Yeah, I think the chances of us running into World Eaters is incredibly high. Same as Necrons, which actually I don't mind the Necron matchup. I think the Necron matchup is pretty good. But the World Eater matchup is grim. And you're right. I think if you're going to take a loss, that might be where it's from. But yeah, what about yourself? So how do you think everyone else is going to get on?
Byron, should we start with Franco? What do we reckon?
You can be. Do you know what? You can be as brutal as you want. I don't mind because actually it'll probably give me the motivation to at least do one better. So say 1 and 4, and then I can get 2 and 3.
I think you're easy getting 3-2 at least. I
Yeah.
think 4-1 is definitely doable as well, and I think you're right. I think it's the same for all of us. I think all three of us can go 5-1 0 4-1 on our day, but it's LGT. The pairing is such a big deal. I mean, we look at on paper, it looks like we're all going to have an all right start. Not easy, but all right. So we all go to
Yeah, it's
1-0. At that point, you can play 400 and something different players. So I think all of us are capable of a 5-0, 4-1. But any of us could also end up on a 2-3-3-2 very easily just because of bad matches.
Exactly. That's the thing as well, is I think we're overshoot, or maybe I'm overshooting just how well you can do. Oh, Byron's camera's gone.
Is he celebrating?
But
3-1 happened, Byron. Is he
yeah.
celebrating?
He's just like, no, I don't want for it to.
They put me down.
But you're right. As much as we're going on about all these good results, we are, and I'll say it as well. We are very like just because of the way the nature of LGT, you can go 2 and 3, and just tank out like it happens, right?
Exactly. I mean, last year, going by the Win SOS, or one of the SOSs, I didn't work out because I couldn't be asked. I had the 30th hardest run in the room or something. So I went 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. I was like looking at it, my first 2 rounds with Liam from Vanguard Tactics and then Mark Crumble, first 2 rounds. And it's like, great.
Yes.
I got past Liam by 4 points, I think it was. Beat him by 4 points. I was like, well happy with that. And then got Mark. I was like, it just doesn't get better, does it?
Mhm.
And that's the
Yes,
thing.
it
But you
is
could
not
also
nice.
play other players, which are good players, but they're average level players who could beat you on their day, but you also can beat them. But they could have 3, 4 nice rounds for themselves as well, and you could end up playing in round 4, round 5. You just don't know at this level.
But you really don't.
Is Byron all right?
Yeah. All good. All good.
Is Liverpool
think-
losing?
No. It's 2-1 still. I'm thinking about my last LGT and the LGT before that. Now, out of 2 LGTs, I've played one super top tier player, and that was Nassim, and that's the one game I've lost out of 2 LGTs. So I'm looking at it going, I think unless I'm running into someone who's like top 50 in the country, or well, top 50 in general that's at LGT, I think I'll be okay. But eventually I will have to face one of those players. Last year for my final game, I think I got very lucky to not be facing one of those players because I was looking along the line, right, of the top tables after going 4-0, and I was it's like Alex Harrison's there, Nas is there, they're playing each other, Manny's
Yeah, there
there.
was some really tasty last matchups in that
It
LGT.
was insane, and I'm just there in the middle, and I'm playing against Thousand Suns, and I'm going right. I never beat Thousand Suns. It's going to go really badly, and then I see a brick of 10 Terminators, and I'm like, oh my god, I've caught life. And then all of a sudden, going into the next round again, playing someone super top tier. So I was like, eventually my luck has to run out.
Yeah.
Thinking that for this, the same thing for this one.
It is when you start. It is when you hit that matchup. That is when. That's why I think. But then if you hit that matchup round 4 and take a loss, you go 3-1. You think great, but also the chances are Manny's played a Vic or Vic's played Josh or something else has happened somewhere else, and you.
Exactly.
I mean, it's in the smaller scale. I had it at Nottingham. I lost to Liam again, Van Contest, but round 4. So okay, 3-1. We'll go for the 4-1. I got a Vic round 5, and it's just like, great, cheers. And
Oh, that is good.
it's the way it goes at some point, and you just. And LGT is the same, but it's such a high concentration of great players. We've got players flying in from Poland, France, Belgium, across Europe, and as we know, Kevin, at least from the US, and I'm sure there's others coming.
Mm-hmm.
So all these players travel over. There is 200 to 300 of the top players in the world in that room, on top of 500 other players who are not going to be scrubs themselves. Most of them players in there are good players.
Yeah, that's what I love about LGT though, because I feel like even if I come out and I've had an okay weekend, like 3-2 or whatever, it still feels like okay, my losses weren't because I played well, maybe sometimes because I played stupid, but also I feel like I got beat by players that are like really good.
Yeah.
And that's why I just feel like LGT is a really good it's just really good in general. Like if you really want to test yourself, I just feel like LGT is such a good place to test yourself. And for some reason, even though the odds are less likely to play one of those top players, you always seem to.
Unless you're Byron.
Like I think you're just
Only at the last one. Listen,
Yeah,
Nas was round 2 at the LGT before that, so super unlucky there. But yeah, it was a really good tournament after that. It was like you 150 Nas, well done, and then I'll basically start mean after that.
That LGT, so that was 2022, right?
Yeah.
I played into the cap. I can't remember the round 2. I ran round 1. I was like, cool, good start. Ran into a team captain of a WTC team. I can't remember which team it was. He beat me. I was like, oh great. And then I ran into so now I'm 1-1. I'm like, cool. Who do I get next? And I get Jockle. You know the fucking Icelandic fire. Not your
Team
fire.
Ignite.
What's that? Team Ignite. That's it.
Team Ignite.
And I was like, how the fuck have I just played 2 WTC captains in a row? Like, what is this shit? And it's just like grim. So it can happen, right? We can get lucky, we can get unlucky, but we will see. So now let's talk about ourselves. So how do we think ourselves get on? Now it's time to be vain. So how do you think you are going to get on overall? Like if you have to mark yourself on generally where you think you're going to hit, where do you think you're going to get?
I'm playing Byron in the final and winning it.
We're gonna find out what happens, Sisters versus Demons, mate. Trust me, we are gonna find out.
I just love how I've become chopped liver in this conversation. It's just like between you two, and I'm just like, yeah, we don't have to worry about him.
But to be fair,
Byron.
It's fine. Me and Byron need someone to host a podcast. So, no, I think. I don't know.
Be vain. Go on, be vain.
I think 4-1 is what I'm going for. If I'm realistic, I go 4-1 at most UK TC events now. I'm constantly doing that. Obviously, again, that would be the goal. I think at this point.
Yeah, goal for me, if I'm being realistic, 4-1.
But you think that? But you have, of all the three of us, you have the right to say 5-0 because you've done.
There is always a glimmer of hope.
Of course, there is.
There is always. However, I'm going to be realistic for now and say 4-1.
I think just going off my recent results, I think I'm going to go 3-2. But I know I can do the 4-1. I just don't think I have a hope for the 5-0. Not at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to
Typical
say.
Spurs mentality, that is.
What's that?
Typical Spurs mentality.
Nah, shut up.
No, to be fair, if it was Spurs mentality, if you're talking about it's 1 and 4.
I'm still going to walk out with the fucking trader trophy, so I'll take that. It's like winning the Audi Cup in the summer.
Yeah,
Isn't
if I say
it?
it's gonna be it's when you find out there's no trophy for it, so you don't even get that.
I guess I might get a certificate, and that's it. Great. No, I don't want the 3-2. Like, I want the 4-1. I want the 5-0, but I want the 4-1. But I'm gonna say 3-2. But I don't see why I can't do 4-1 if I play properly, right?
100%.
If I don't play like a fucking idiot. But we'll see, because we're gonna do. I don't know how. I mean, I'm definitely gonna do a LGT tournament review. And then it will, if you use a free user on here as well, it's up to use.
I'm not sure I'm invited for that
But
one.
we will talk about that later. We don't talk about
If either of us win it, we won't be invited, Luke.
Yeah, if either of us finish above him in the overall ranking, we won't be invited.
Oh
You,
god.
you both went 3-2. I'm cancelling this, deleting it, getting rid of it.
Yeah, done. No more YouTube anymore. Finished. No one gets to do it. But we will see. I'm either way. I'm actually really excited for this LGT, and I don't know. I mean, I know why, because it's just getting to play 40k, and LGT is fun. But for some reason, there's just something a bit. I feel really excited by it. Maybe because it's like I feel like I've grinded this season out, so now I can take like a month off before November, and I'm quite excited to just do nothing for 4 weeks. Maybe that's what it is. Not that I'm being
The
forced.
biggest thing is seeing all of my teammates there, because
100%.
so we're quite a big team now, and there's going to be a good chunk of us, about 10, 12 of us going. I mean, we're a team of about 20, so that is quite a big chunk in fairness. But it's the fact that we're all going to be there, we're all going to be socializing. I'm honestly probably more excited for the dinner on Saturday evening and socializing with the guys than I am about the event itself. But I'm always optimistic about 40k tournaments.
I tend not.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, because again, we're a pretty big team as well, and I think we've got players in all the events. We've got old well players, narrative players, Sigma players, and then obviously 40k. So we're quite spread. But I'm quite looking forward to that Saturday night as well. And obviously, got one of my best mate also coming along. We've got Kevin Leonard, who I would say is a friend at this point. Getting to meet him for the first time is quite cool. So I think, and that generally think that is the best part, right? It's the social aspect is always the best part of all the 40k events. But LGT, you have such a large. So I feel like I never have time to breathe at LGT. Like, I'm like seeing so many people, and then like it feels like Monday morning, like when you're feeling, you get the LGT lurgy and you finally get a chance to like, oh, done. And then you feel like shit afterwards. Because I don't know about you, but every year Monday morning I feel like absolute dog shit every year. But
I was
yeah,
actually really glad that I didn't have to come back last year because
yeah, that Monday.
that would have been horrendous.
Yeah.
I had the Monday off work anyway, but it would have been really horrible having to come back for another day and then going back to work on Tuesday, because there's no way I was getting the Tuesday off as well.
It was like you were kind of almost glad you when you got Aiden, you were like, and then you lost. You're like, oh, cool. Thanks, Aiden.
I
I'll
was
take
so
that.
glad I played Aiden. Honestly, out of everyone I could have played, I was like, I know this person. I know I'm gonna have a good game anyway, and he's gonna smash me, but I'll have a good game anyway.
And then you've got a few boys in your team, right? At this point.
Yeah, there's 11 of us, but I think we've only got 7 at LGT. But still, it's most of the team, to be fair. So we're about 7 of us, I think.
Is this your first LGT as a team, or did you exist last LGT?
We're trying to work this out. I think we existed last time. I haven't started drinking yet, I swear. That'll come soon. No. But I think we were very new at that point. I don't think we even had our t-shirts ready at that point. So I think we existed, but it's only been like maybe 4 of us were there at that point.
Have you famously got the other Byron on your team? I'm sure I saw him at a tournament
Yes,
with
we
a
have the other
redacted
Byron.
t-shirt.
We
Yeah,
have the Tyrannid Byron. 'Cause
the superior Byron. I always say when I meet him at tournaments.
well, if we don't tell him that, we'll never get him out of LGT again.
I I'm still laughing at how it was we were at that event, right, Byron, where the Tesco's jumped out at him, right? And he he had to drive home. Did you hear about that? He had to drive down the road with half a car.
Wasn't that? I think
I
I
just looked at
remember
him
right
like,
as
what
well.
are you doing?
Was that the one when it was a temporary car as well because his other car was in the garage?
Yes,
Yeah, it was it was a hire car, and he absolutely ruined it.
I'll tell you what,
Like
that
in that,
Tesco's. Poor, I can't believe it did it.
I know. It's just like I was like, what did you do? He's like, Tesco's jumped at me. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
RKO out of
Um,
nowhere from Tesco.
It was funny. Just standing there. I think you and me were standing there watching him, weren't we? As he was trying to get the thing fixed on, and
We
then
did actually manage to get it fixed enough so that he could drive it at least.
yeah, he said because I saw him a couple of weeks at Sheffield and he was like, oh yeah, I got it sorted so I can actually get home. So you know, um,
Got to be careful with them Tesco's.
yeah. Fucking Tesco's. Stay away from Tesco's. Saying that, I had a Sainsbury's incident last week. I was driving, and I just wasn't. I was because my Sainsbury's is on a roundabout coming off the A2, and I have to come across to get into this little lane to go in, and I just wasn't watching, and I ended up going into the the pavement bit that's in the middle where people can cross, and I thought, oh, that was a really heavy hit, but I thought, okay. I got out to get petrol, looked on my tyre, and it was like half my tyre was missing. I was like, oh, I took a massive hole out of my tyre. I was like, great. Because the car just went like that. And I was like, Courtney was like, the car feels like it's going down. I'm like, yeah, because it probably is. And as I got out, I was like, oh, I've just punctured it. No, took a massive hole out of it. So I had to sit in Sainsbury's petrol station for like 2 hours waiting for someone to come out and do my tyre change.
So
That was fun.
As there are Morrisons or the supermarkets we recommend on this channel, they tend not to jump out at
Yeah.
you as often. But
Yeah,
we can't
probably not. Very Sainsbury's and Tesco's, they'll have it out for cars and tyres and bumpers and all
they
that crap.
really dislike Byron's and Franco's. Um,
Apparently so.
or if you like the rest of us, just shop at Lidl. Other supermarkets are available.
I hate Lidl's. Hate it. It's just.
I was waiting.
Ugh.
I knew
Anyway,
you'd.
how we turn this into shop with the only demon channel on the fucking YouTube? Now we turn into the UK shopping market channel.
Bring more
Lidl's
demons.
Lidl's is like the Bloodthirster versus Shalaxi debate. Lidl versus like Tesco.
Audi.
You know where the quality is, but you go to Lidl anyway.
And then I choose the little off license around the corner because I like to be different.
You're the great unclean one. you're like, oh,
wow, I'll tell you, Byron, we were going to have a
close.
discussion with him personally. We weren't going to call him out like that. But
Screw you guys. Oh god. Do you know what? I'm quite looking forward. And then when was the last time? I think Sheffield I got a point. Sheffield was you. Was Hertfordshire really the last time I saw you?
Maybe.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I've not been to a lot of events since then, but yeah, that was probably the last time we met.
Well, if you see any of us, I can talk for myself. I don't know about the other two, but you can come say hi. I won't buy. I can't wait. I'm actually really excited. I love meeting new people and meeting people at LGT. It's quite fun, and it's just awesome to talk about demons. Don't talk about demons with Luke though. He don't like demons anymore. He's a bandwagon jumper.
so you can come and talk to me, but to be fair, I'll probably be drunk and won't remember. But
Yeah, you
feel
won't
free to
remember
come and
nothing.
do it anyway.
Definitely come say hi. And I can probably speak for any of my teammates, Fire and Dice guys as well. Come and say hi if you play the same faction as any of us. I'm sure Dennis would be more than happy to chat Necrons, fantasize about Necrons and Blood Angels.
Byron, have you got any demon players that can help Franco?
I do actually. Yeah,
Fuck off.
yeah.
Go away. Go away.
Franco, someone you've probably actually spoken to, and maybe given advice to, who's on my team, Lawrence Elliott.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
He's messaging me. I know. Oh, now I feel like I really have to do 4-on-1 or 5-0 now. Now I have no choice just to shut everyone up. It's a shot
Tell
you
you
used to
what,
up.
the only thing is, that's the thing. If you don't, we'll be back. We'll be back over the weekend anyway to wind you up. So
I'm expecting it at the end of every round. Did you lose? Ah, you lost.
to be
Oh.
fair, that's the thing. In our doubles, every round we lose, Byron's going to blame you. But every round we win, we'll praise my bloodthirsters.
I'm just gonna laugh when my ground ones kill more than the bloodthirsters because they actually make their charges. It's like, oh, how many dreadnoughts did Luke kill? 1. How many dreadnoughts did Franco kill? 5. I was
If
like,
you win, yeah,
wow.
that was definitely thanks to the bloodthirsters and killing that one. That was the important one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that was
see
the
you
important
guys
one.
on the Saturday, and you're gonna be talking about the doubles, and I'm just gonna see. Oh, Franco would be like, "Oh, the bloodthirsters are so good, Byron. I don't know how he does it. I just don't."
And then I will do, and then I'll do my typical stupid thing of fuck it, I'm gonna play them again, and then I'll do nothing, and then I'll slag them off again, and I'll be like, I don't
Chuck
know
him in.
why everyone uses them. They're so
You did
shit.
that. Was it Northampton Super Major when I went like 7th or 8th or something, and I had like a bloodthirster, and you was like, right, fuck, I'm going to use one next time. Da, 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 da. And then yours was like, why did I ever do this?
He was in the bin
I,
the
Yeah,
next
it
time.
was.
I did, yeah, I did. That was when I threw it. That was after yeah, because I sent you the picture now of him sitting in the bin, like, fuck this dude. Because my mate as well, I played against my mate who plays Tau, and I was running Schlaxy, and he was like, no, that's it. Stop running Schlaxy. Use the Bloodthirster, and then blah, blah, blah. So I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. I can't remember what event. Oh, uh, Hertfordshire, right? I think that was the event. And I ran the Bloodthirster. And the first game, I was like, oh, he was okay, I guess, into Custodies before Pin runs. And then against the Blood Angels, he didn't kill the Land Raider, but Rotagus did. And I was like, okay. And then I played against Paulie, and he couldn't kill. And then I was like, okay, I'm not having this. And then it was just like all 5 games was like, do you know what? Fuck this dude. And he went in the bin. And then he has not seen the outside of a box in about 4 months, 3 months, whatever it was. So I might just take Bloodthirsters to Atlanta.
I
Can you
think
imagine going all the way to America just to torture myself like that?
well, maybe when you go, me and Byron have both got to choose a model you have to take.
I might do that because I have no idea what I want to take. So I might actually just let people decide my list. I might let you have the first. Like everyone can pick a unit. I'll let you two decide on the first 2 units. And no, you can't duplicate units. You can't go double Bloodthirster. Fuck
Oh,
you,
he
both.
ruined this, Byron. He
Fuck
ruined.
you. Fuck you, both.
If I go Bloodthirst and Byron goes Scarbrand, we're halfway
No,
there.
but I like Scar. No, but I like Scarbrand. I actually don't mind Scarbrand. I can deal
But
with
then the
Scar.
rest of the list is just going to be blood crushers after that.
It's going to have to take the most killy demon list ever, and he'll be like, I don't like this. I've actually got
Yeah,
to attack.
I don't like killing things. I like just not dying. Why
I
is it?
failed 4 up in buns and it died.
Why is the crowd pick 6 squads of blue horrors?
Do you know how tempted I was to try that list out? And I was like, no, I can't be asked to learn it, but I'll play it. But
I can't be asked to paint.
blue horror. I mean, mate, at this point, I have it. if it exists in Demons, I fucking have it, and it's probably painted. If not, it won't take me long to paint it.
What, 60 blue
Oh,
horrors?
yeah,
Damn.
mate, you don't understand. I started out with Zinch. So my like out of my like 30,000 points on Year Enough, about 40 of it is Zinch, and then probably about another 35 to 40% of it is no, probably 30% is Nurgle, and the rest of it is between Corn and Slanesh. But I have a lot of Zinch shit, and there's only so much you can have as Zinch. It's mostly horrors.
It sounds like rookie numbers. You need to push them numbers up.
Yeah.
Now, my blue horror numbers in comparison are rookie. I've only got 20 blue horrors, but I've got 70 brimstone horrors.
Why?
Yeah.
What?
Do you know what's really weird? No, do you know what's really weird? I think I have 80 blue horrors. I have like 110 brimstones, and I don't know why I have more
Yeah,
brimstones.
so
It doesn't make sense.
I
I'm
have to
like, why
highlight
have I got 30 more brimstones? It doesn't make sense.
Luke, do you remember
I
the
don't-
edition when brimstone horrors had a 4 up invuln?
Yeah, and you could take them in units on their
And
own.
OC wasn't a thing, and you could take them on their own, and they were like 30
Yeah.
points for 10.
Yeah, they were stupid cheap.
I was going to look at count mine, and I've already seen an entire tray of them right at the bottom there, not getting used, just tray of
Just little bundles of fire.
Yes,
That's all you needed.
They're just
You're
fire
talking about
guns.
subductor squads, right? That's like the level of nonsense that brimstone horrors were. Even worse, in fact, way worse.
I have. Yeah. I definitely haven't got any subductors. Luckily, there. I might just use brimstones. Same thing. Yeah.
Except where you get the free up armor from? Flames.
This guy's going to give it to me.
The fact that there's two of them, that's where you get the threat armor.
Yeah, the two of you have to
One
get
lifts
the
up the other one, it's a shield.
This one protects me.
I mean, to be fair, what can actually kill a brimstone horror? It's literally a ball of fire. Like, it's...
Well, yeah.
fire
I mean,
extinguisher.
fire extinguishers now where we're at. So, so
Yeah.
how long before GW released the fire brigade for the Imperial agents? And then,
Is there a you know, there's like the Ghostbusters AOS guys, the Sigmarines. So is there like a fire brigade version that just puts out that just goes against Zinch specifically, like flamers? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Brimstones, bye.
you got a fucking one of them flamers. Not against my fire extinguisher. You haven't.
You come up against Zinch flamers, and I think they only have 2 wounds each in AOS. And this guy just goes, yeah, 6 mortal wounds against flamers specifically. You're dead.
I just like the idea of like the flamers attack something with their shooting attacks, and they can just like react to it by just pointing it out before it does anything. Just,
Wait a minute. What do you mean you got 30 flames? It's fine. I have a bottle of water. You're in trouble.
None of
I
his
packed my lunch.
walk flame bollocks.
Hey, and it's a bottle of water from Sainsbury's just for Franco.
Yeah.
Oh, you give me the shudders. This is completely broken down. We've ended up talking about Tesco's, Lidl's, and fire extinguishers.
As all
Only on a demon podcast. See, that's why it's the best faction in the world. That's why GW shouldn't kill us as a faction, because this is what you're losing out on. All these awesome conversations.
Oh, maybe that's why they're trying to kill us as a faction.
Yeah, because they're like, no, we don't need this shit in our community anymore. Get rid of it.
It's nonsense. They're not serious enough about this hobby. They talk too much about fire extinguishers, putting out flamers.
So let's just get rid of the flamers. God.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the flavors. They already did that.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Honestly, do you guys think maybe there could be some kind of like background issues with Sinesh overall? Because they tried to get rid of Sinesh.
They've toned them down over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was rumours that they were going to squash Sinesh, weren't it? Because she went missing, right, in Sigma, and then they brought her back in the end. Because now, obviously, but saying that, if you look at some of the, I guess, if you look at the, is it the Head Knights, the Sineshi faction for Sigma, and they've come away from. I mean, they're still scantily clad, but it's more greed. Like they look more greed based rather than.
They've always gone for like a royal kind of feel.
Yeah, like a twisted royal feel, innit?
Have you ever seen? Have you guys seen the horror movies? Either Smile or what's that other ridiculous one?
There's a few.
Yeah, anything that involves like these really weird looking smiles.
Oh yeah, Smiles, Sainsbury's near the A2. There's a few, yeah.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Fire Extinguisher Echo 2, that was the worst.
That's what the Head Knights of Sinesh models, the vibes that they give me.
Yeah, with the smiles, yeah. It's just it looks very I don't know how to put it. But yeah, like kind of like joy through torture, right? Because they all look like they've fucked themselves up but enjoy the shit out of it. Which is I guess kind of what Sinesh-ish.
It is, and I
at least
think
at least for the mortal side.
I think they're going that way more now than the 18 plus side. I think they're going for that torturous side now to try and make it more
like
for everyone.
Like, well, it's like a like I guess kind of a bit Hellraiser-ish with the way they look, but like they're going for like beauty by overdoing it. That's kind of what not the World Eaters, the fucking Emperor's Children are, right? So like you look at the Emperor's Children would be interesting, but then aren't we meant to be getting a sneak peek or another preview next week to try and rectify that abortion of a preview we got?
There's going to be something next week, but we don't know if it's actually mostly AOS yet, do we?
Next week, Saturday. So, yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be mostly AOS, but naturally, if it's a Demons thing, it will end up being like AOS and 40k combined. They have done that before.
You are convinced old Epidemius, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you've been saying that because we've had this conversation so many times. Because that hand with the it's not an abacus. It's a book, right? It's a book with loads of the Nurgle symbol and a big old demony claw
And
had.
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
the hand has only got 3 fingers.
I think it'll just turn out to be one of their mortal characters for like the Maggotkin. But saying that, apparently there is a Zinch sorcerer getting revealed, and that's all it was at, just a Zinch sorcerer. So I don't know if that's going to be like a new Sigma thing, or if it's going to be a tease and preview for Thousand Suns, since they are probably the first Chaos faction, like next year, the first Chaos faction. I just want them to put us out of our misery. Tell us if we're getting a book or not.
That's
Just
where I
tell
am.
us.
And I mean,
That's what I want.
mentioned to you, Franco, that is the problem with me and Demons at the moment. I still love my Demons. We all know that, as much as I'm pissing around with sisters. But the issue is my motivation for them has just been shot at the moment, not knowing what's going on. And I'm just like, am I playing a dead faction? Which is, it never feels good if it happens. And we just want to know the answers now. I mean, if it's fine, if it's going in with T Sons, fine. Just let us know so that I can play Zench Demons, or I can use my Magnus who's sitting behind me somewhere with Demons. But just got to tell us at some point now, haven't they?
No, no, we're not having that. We're not saying it's fine because you're making like, no, it's fine. We don't mind. Just tell us.
No,
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 screw
we
it.
do mind.
If
I just want an answer.
agents
Because
exist,
there
okay?
is there
Imperial
there
agents
is.
are allowed to exist as a faction, and you're
I
telling
know
us
Yeah,
that
exactly,
demons. Okay, so
exactly.
I had a conversation with someone else about this as well. They were saying, like, what if they rolled Chaos Demons and Chaos Knights into like a Chaos Agents type thing? Well, no, because Imperial Knights are separate to Imperial Agents, so
I
that
think it's
couldn't
not
be a thing.
separate. I think there's no reason why they can't just give us a codex. If I'm honest, there's no reason.
Laziness, laziness.
I think the biggest issue from at the moment we've seen it a little bit. They're obviously trying to streamline their manufacturing, production, all that. I think it's because we've got a lot of old models that would need redoing. I think they're just thinking, "Oh, can we be asked?"
We don't. We don't though. We
I know
have a
we'd be quite
really
happy.
new range.
We'll be quite happy with
There's,
six
there's
models.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple character, and to be fair, Sigma is the reason we do have a lot of the new stuff. But we've got a couple character models, what the Blue Scribes, the Sineshi Heralds, Epidemius, and then
Yeah,
we've got maybe the Demonettes and the Bloodletters. But apart from that, everything else is no older than 12 years, 13, 14 years old, if that.
I mean, that's what you look
And
at all our created demons. I think none of them need replacing. Just looking at all the models now,
then like the oldest one is what the Bloodthirster one, that's 9 years
he
old,
was the
and
first one.
and he still looks all right.
yeah.
To be fair,
Well, of course, it looks all right because it's new technology. Like I
and he
feel
was-
like anything made in the last 15 years is going to stand up for a lot longer than anything made 25 years ago or whatever.
yeah.
Um, I just so again, I've had this conversation with people, some of my local friends, and they've asked me like, would you be fine if you still got your book, but also they basically done the whole Thousand Suns gets into Demons, etc., but then Demons got their book, and I'm like, yeah, I
Of
don't
course,
care if other people get our stuff. I just want a book.
But everyone gets
And
our
then
stuff
someone,
anyway. So what changes?
I don't know. But that's the thing, and it really annoys me. Like, because I don't know. I just feel like we're being, and I do get it from a business standpoint. Is it a bit of a hassle? I don't think it is, but I think they've been lazy for a while. Like, we look back at eighth edition. What was the supplement books that they were bringing out in eighth edition?
Oh
I can't
wow.
remember the name of them. But
Uh,
were we in Engine Wars? I think it was, and we only literally got, what was it? We got the the exalted greater demon table, right? I think that was it. Um, I've done who's in now by thinking about that.
it's
I
too
don't know
late.
where
It's
my
too late.
books are.
To be fair, I've not had enough. I've not had enough alcohol to think about this. Um,
Vigilus. It's Vigilus. No, is it Vigilus? I can't remember. Anyway, that set of I've
no,
already done
next
who's
time
in
on
now.
episode 3 of True Daemon Lord.
Do you know what? Right before we go, it's going to do me in. So I'm going to search it up.
Is it still 2? While you do that, we'll talk about important things. Is it still 2-1, Byron?
it's now 5-1.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
yeah.
Where's that?
Psychic
I've
Awakening.
missed 3
Psychic.
goals.
I can't believe
Oh,
this.
poor you. Sorry for holding so long.
I mean, to be fair,
Psychic Awakening.
Psychic Awakening, yes.
Psychic Awakening. And
It
our book
was
was
Awaken Us.
Engine Wars. And we only got the Greater Demon, Exalted Demon things. And then you look at the ninth edition book, and as much as I actually liked that book, it was an incredibly lazily written book,
Yeah,
right?
but
It was
I'd
very
take,
lazily written.
at this point, I'd take a lazily written book if it means we get a book.
So would
But
I.
you see our
So would I.
Like
Huh?
the whole, you see the index cards, the whole Shadow of Chaos thing, how all the data sheets work, everything being so like fine tuned. You can tell there's been a lot of effort put into that versus like
I feel like the Shadows of Chaos was so really lazy. I think it was incredibly lazy. It's such a poor army rule.
Well,
Like the idea is good, but
yes,
then what we actually get is just poor. Considering what Canoptech Court got, they literally got our army rule but better.
but think about it
And
this
it's
way:
just like,
when they released all the indexes, I think Byron's right. At the time when we had no other codexes, we didn't know what anyone else was getting. It had the fluff of us appearing next to people. It
yeah,
had us causing terror, us multiplying healing. It had ethic, which was quite fluffy. But I also think now the codexes have come out. Yes, we've seemed to have lost a lot of our uniqueness, but
yeah,
we
definitely.
are one of the armies out there that if they get off their arse and actually did a codex, there's so much opportunity. You've got the mono god factions, you've got Bellica's disciples, you've got the Shadow of Chaos, you've got so much you could do with this book if
Oh,
and they just sat down and wrote the bloody rules. It's not as easy as that,
the thing is, no, but it feels like just last point, and then we'll wrap up. But I just feel like the way they write codexes now with the detachments, I feel like that is literally suited to the ground for us,
yes.
because that's the thing we've always need, like a Nurgle detachment, a Zinch detachment, etc., etc. Bella disciples of Be'lakor, and then the undivided one. Like I feel like detachments suit us to the ground because you can limit them. You can even put in there you can't include any other god bar this god. Like, and I'm
you
fine
know,
with that because
this
I would rather
more than
if they're going
anything.
to give
This is why
us.
it would be so heartbreaking if we don't get a book.
I know because it
Yep.
feels like there's so much potential there, probably more
Because this
than,
is
and
the
maybe we're saying this to
edition
buy it.
where we're looking at it going, look, it's perfect. This is like suited for a demon book where you can make it as flavorful as you want. It's not just like, oh, we've got lists of 6 stratagems and you've got 6 for each god because we had to think of spare stratagems and we couldn't think of more. But it's actually like, right, dedicated faction abilities, stratagems are streamlined. There's going to be no overlap in rules. Everything's going to do it have a unique purpose.
And
And
the thing is, you don't even need to make it complicated. Nurgles could be literally something like Effing gets, I don't know, 5 up, feel no pain. You've got you don't have to be complicated about it. But you are right. It's perfect for demons at the moment,
yeah,
and this is the edition we're rumored to get. I don't know, eaten by squats.
As you said, it is so simple. They just have to pick a. So they make a detachment where things are tough. Nurgle. They
Tough.
make a shooting detachment. Zinch. They make a combat detachment. Corn, and they make a detachment that's quite janky with movement and just being
Yeah,
fast and
I
all
mean,
that kind of shit.
you know, well,
Slanesh. And then you pick one that maybe interacts more with the shadows, Be'lakors, and then we just already have the uppy downy detachment, which is the
well, that's the thing.
incursion.
I mean, you literally look at it and go, "Oh, no, Corn's easy." On the charge, they get I don't know, +1 AP and extra attack. Demonettes, Snesh, they can advance and charge.
That's in charge, yeah.
Feel no pain or something for Nurgle. To Zench, yeah, they just get extra range on their guns or an extra AP if they shoot or
Yeah, or
something.
something
There's
shooting.
some
It's
very
not
clever
difficult.
stratagems around that, and then yeah, you keep the shadow detachment. I think that one works. Undivided could be a bit freaky. You've got to take the whole one of each faction unit, and you can have Chaos Knights in there as well. Um, and then you just think of something around that brings it all. I mean, we've just done 4 or 5 detachments. I
and
know.
do
It's
you
not.
know the funniest thing is we've not really even touched universal special rules, like the ones that
No,
came out with the core rules. Have we
never.
spoken about sustained hits, lethal hits, death wounds?
No.
Because as demons, we don't generally have a lot of those anyway. But again, those are abilities that they've put into place in certain armies and detachments, give those buffs, and we've not even spoken about them. We're speaking about other stuff that's we can put in straight off the bat, first thought in our heads,
Yeah,
and
But
then you can
and
add normal rules to that as well.
that's the thing. If they
the
want to
thing
get
is,
lazy, give to Zench sustain on shooting, for example. If you want to get lazy,
Yeah,
the,
there's
the
got
thing
so
is,
much.
any of the three of us, in individually or even together, could sit down in a day and write that book and
balance it.
and yeah, and make it balanced. Because again, I
Literally,
feel like the three of us could do that. Like, and I feel like we're harping on now. We're making it sound easier than it is. I guess it's not easy when you got all these books to write, but at the same time, it just feels incredible. And we're just talking it's our faction, but it just feels like they are really missing out on an opportunity by doing that. It really
Whose
does. And
faction
I
was
just
Imperial Agents? That's all I want to know.
I know. I just don't get. How do they get a book and we don't? I really don't understand it. I really
Genuinely,
don't
if
understand it.
demons do not get a book after that, I'll be fuming.
See, I get the logic behind Imperial Agents in an expanding game, universe, etc. No, I've got no issue there. But that's the problem. Why wipe another faction out to bring it in, though? If you had to choose,
You
you
know
would
how
keep
kill
the
team,
Demons.
right, are now getting rid of some of their kill teams. They're going to be on rotation every 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Most of those kits are from kill team, so they're actually going to rebox that stuff for 40k compared to what they could be doing with demons, which is actually get rid of the whole faction. This is what makes me think they absolutely can't do it. Surely,
I think, I mean, I want their own codex. I do think the most realistic option is the whole we get split into the 4 good books. But you release an Imperial Agents book. I know it's only got 3 detachments in or whatever, 4 detachments, but they've got a book for instead of just a few data cards online, which is what they normally would have had. So just give us our book.
I know it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But I don't know. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They always do whatever they want to do, and hopefully we don't have to wait that long. I still feel like we ain't going to know till like March time, but
Yeah, just want to know now.
it's just because at least because the other thing I don't know about you, Stu. I assume for you, Luke, it did, and I assume for you as well, probably now, Byron. But it's got very stale, and it's really hard to be innovative now because everyone's played the things you can do different with, and there's not enough in the index that is good that you can combine together. Like because we're missing so much stuff, and normally that would soften the blow. But like, okay, we'll just wait for the codex. I can get through 6-7 months more.
Yeah,
But it's like now we don't even know if we had the codex. So now it's really like again. I guess for you, Luke, it has hit. But my motivation, and as someone who likes to pride himself on being one of the most loyal demon players around, it is becoming incredibly hard to stay positive about playing the one faction. And again, I don't have a choice. I can't jump on something else. It is what it is. But it is really hard, and like maybe it's why I'm so excited to have a bit of a break after LGT because I'm playing the same things generally, and there's only so much you can do with the index, and it has got boring. And then it's not like, oh, yeah, Codex around the corner or next year because we don't know. So
no, I
all we can do is wait and see. But yeah,
all
as
I
I
can
said,
say is I
we've
just
we've changed that into a really somber mode, didn't we? We've got all
so
upset
lads,
now.
LGT, LGT.
LGT, we're just LGT, but yeah. So obviously we will hopefully talk more about that in the future, and fingers crossed it isn't going to happen. But to be fair, I've not heard anything in a while. Not to say that
fingers
means
crossed.
anything.
On the 5th of October, we are on our group chat cheering and going, "Yes, we're not dead as a faction."
First thing they do is preview Chaos Demon book next
Yeah,
March. I was like,
please,
yes.
yes.
I mean, the
Like
thing is,
someone also said to me, like, if they give you no new models and you just have to take it and they just give you the book, I was like, yes,
yes,
yes, yes, yes, yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes. I don't need new models. I'm a demon player at this point. I'm used to not having models and new models. It's fine. I don't care.
To be
Oh,
honest, even if you cut some of the models that are fine cast, like we were saying earlier,
yeah,
Epidemius, Blue Scribes, all of that, right? We'd be fine.
yeah.
It'd
I
be
mean,
sad to lose certain characters, but again, I'll take it. I
Yeah.
would take it just to keep the faction as it is.
one thing that annoyed me was I think it was last week or week before, I've lost track. They've removed apparently the giant Nurgling from Warhammer World and put like a Titus in its place.
No,
Space Marine 2.
So, do you guys
that
know
makes
they actually called that giant nerdling a great unclean one
I
on
mean,
Warhammer
to be fair,
Community?
on this label,
it
it's got
does sound like
Nurgling, little unclean one.
it. That's
That's why
brilliant.
I called it Kugath, because that's what basically great unclean ones are.
Yeah, but that's
Little
the thing.
Yeah,
nerdlings.
especially
Apparently, it's
it's just an oversized Nurgling.
yeah, but
Yeah.
apparently it's gone for the Space Marine 2 character. I've been told. And everyone's like, "Oh, that shows demons are going on it." I go, "No, it means it's not the current taste of the month."
Oh,
But
they got rid of the big Nurgling and tell you to put in the thing that's been spoke about loads at the moment. Oh, demons have got no.
yeah,
That
it's
it's of
everyone just
course
puts it
that
all
makes
together.
that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
Well,
I still haven't played Space Marine 2 yet. I need to get on that.
you
Like
do.
everyone else I know now has played it. Have you both played it?
Yep.
No.
Oh, okay. Did you even play? Do you have any interest in playing it, Byron?
I do, just not when it's like 50 plus quid.
See, that was my thing. I was like, my brother got it, and my brother's not even into 40k or the hobby, but he loves the games and he likes the lore. And he's like, oh, he got it, and he spent like, no, it's more than that. It was like 80 quid, and he played, and he's like, oh, I'm like, nah, I'm not. Like, I'll play it. I'll wait. I'm not like as much as it does it really cool. I'm not.
Black Friday's around the corner.
See,
It's going to go down to about 30 quid.
Yep, and then I will definitely buy it. But until that point, I am not going to spend 80 quid on it. I can't be asked with that. All right. Any more things you want to quickly talk about before we end it? I feel like we've gone through a lot. We spoke about LGT, we spoke about Tesco's and Sainsbury's and fire extinguishers, and we had a mini cry over our codex or non-existence of said codex.
Isn't it a
I
great
feel like-
time for one of the best players in the country / the world to be jumping onto our faction?
and killing our faction dead, if not already, by giving it a bad name. Do you know what? I would have like. I think it's cool, I guess. And to be fair, he does like his demons. I don't like it when he
100%.
takes.
I was going to say, let
I
me
don't like-
preface that by saying Manny has played demons a long time. I've
Yeah,
known Manny a
yeah,
very long time, and he's had them for a
he,
while.
he has. I don't like it. Right, he's done it to me 3 times, and he's not probably even knowingly do it because he doesn't probably even really know me, if at all. But saying that, the fucker does take things that I've been running for a while and go, this is really good. Look what I made. Like, for example, the Lord of Change from 8th edition. I was running that thing and I'm not going to claim to have made it. I didn't. Any demon player with the brain would have seen that Lord of Change is pretty good. Oh, look what I discovered. This is a really good thing. I'm like, fucker, I've been
Are you
running it.
talking about the Impossible Robe one?
Yes. I've been running. I was like, start of 8th edition. I was like, when the Codex came out at like January 2018 or whenever it was. I was like, yeah. I mean, and that, again, Zinch guy. First thing I look at in a new book is Zinch. And then in like 2019, late 2019, oh, look at this really good thing.
Yeah, but Byron
yeah,
invented the Zench model, didn't he?
Shut up.
I apparently invented Kairos instead of the Zinch model, but I'm so glad it didn't catch on.
I'll give you that.
I'm so glad it didn't catch on because everyone was like, nah, the Impossible Robe's so much better. I don't care if I can 0 damage. I want my model to be able to do multiple things. I want access to all the spells. Because guess what? Little did we know at the time, bye-bye Psychic Phase. Bye-bye all of that versatility.
Yeah.
Now it's just going to be a shitty little shooting attack. So I'm glad I used Kairos while I did, because poor guy's rotting away in a case in his phone at the moment.
He is so naff. I hate when people say, no, he's really, really good, man. He's not. He's so bad. I don't care. He's so shit. And it saddens me because, again, Fate Weaver is actually one of my favorite characters. But yeah,
his shooting is like a worst indirect castigator cannon.
It's just indirect hit. Everyone's like, oh, Lord of Deceit. And I'm like, yeah, you have, Lord of Deceit is great unless you put it on a model that doesn't want to be within 12 inches of something, which Kairos does not want to be within 12 inches of all that.
He's like the easiest to kill creator demon.
He's just so easy to kill. But he's deceivingly okay in combat, right? Is he still 2D? He's still 2D3 in combat.
2D3 damage.
He's all right. He just dies quicker than a Bloodthirster, especially mine. But why would you take him over a standard chicken at this point?
You wouldn't. He needs to be like 250 points.
Yeah, he's 270 is too much, and I mean the Everstave is the only thing keeping Lords of Change relevant, because Lords of Change are not good. They are not good, and that's coming from someone that was running multiple of them at the start of the edition. I just think they're so naff. The Everstave is the only thing that I think keeps a Lord of Change relevant at the moment, which is sad. Zinch just feels so bad, and you and me feel that, Byron, because we both love our Zinch. I say it feels bad, but they still have Screamers and Flamers, which are still good.
This is the annoying part, where you and I have kind of mixed basically what I think are the best units of every god into our list. But every time you look at Mono God, generally you're thinking something's missing, right? And I get that, that's how it should be. But I don't think I've ever heard of Mono Zinch lacking so much in terms of being able to kill things. It's never been a thing in past editions. Because you've always offset it with the Psychic Phase.
That's it, yeah.
Being able to do Mortal Wounds, or being able to
exactly. That's
whatever.
That's the issue.
Something a bit different. But now it's just, now that they've rolled it into generic shooting attacks, none of them are strong enough, and it's like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah. It's not dealing mortal wounds like most psychers in the game would do. I mean, like T Suns, they generate so much mortals from the psychic, which does make sense. Why can't the Law of the Change have some kind of secondary shooting attack that on a I don't know on a 4-up it deals D3 mortals? I don't know,
Can't
but
he can't even get devastating wounds on his attacks. That's
no,
what gets me. Is like, and it's just like, what? How does this make sense? How does it make sense? Like, and this is the problem with not having like, because I'm pretty sure if we were to get his inch detachment, there would be some way to get maybe like a Doombolt stratagem or something like that. Here's a question: just before so I know I said we're going to wrap it up. I want one more question about the. Let's just assume there is a codex. How would you design the detachments? Would you make them so? Because for me, the Shadow of Chaos isn't really an army rule; it's more of a detachment rule. So I'm fine with you making that basically army rule, and then making the detachments basically army rules, if that makes sense. So how would you design the detachments if you had the chance? Like, would you make them basically like proper? You know, like all the army rules are. It's not just like, oh, add one to this and add one to that, but like miracle dice or corn dice or something like that. Would you give them actual like mechanics per
I
detachment?
think not every detachment. I would look at the sort of like maybe Better Cause Disciples or an Undivided one is almost bringing back some kind of warp table. Something very different again. Something we should not be seeing much. Maybe it is the 8d6 for the Undivided or whatever, and you get certain roles, do certain things. Yeah, I don't think you do it for all detachments, but for at least for one detachment, I think something like that would have been quite cool to bring back, and it's unique because all the detachments in the game seem to be you pick up 3 units and deep strike 3 units, or you get +1 attack on the charge, or it's all very standard now. I think something
Yeah,
very
exactly.
different would be, and demons are easy to do it
It's
with.
it's not though, because look at the power matrix for uh fuck what are they called? Cannot take cult.
Necron.
It was
They
just
literally
hold objectives.
they have an art. They have no, but it's an art. It's like so that's an army rule to us, but they get it. So I don't know. I would like it to be interesting. I guess.
I would say I can see it staying as an army rule, but then every detachment would be catered towards, all right, you get this buff, but while you're in shadow, you also get this buff.
That's what I expect would have actually
Yeah.
happened.
I
And so,
I
because
would.
that becomes very much like, you know, what they did with the Tau detachments, where it's like turn 1, 2, and 3, you get these buffs,
Yeah.
otherwise, you get
Yes.
this. Same with Kalyon, Montkar, whatever. So, I think they're going to stick with that and keep it pretty simple if they do bring out a codex.
I would want them to give each detachment its own rule that it always gets, and then also on top of that, each one, like for example, the undivided one, I guess you keep 6 inch deep strike. Do you keep 6 inch deep strike? You like you don't make it universal, right? It is exclusive to that detachment because you need something to want to take undivided. And then like basically every detachment has their main rule, but then also if you're in the shadows, you also get this bonus.
That's where you also,
That's what we're basically saying. That's what we think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Just
know that's. I'm just reiterating it because to be honest, right, I love rules writing and homebrewing, so I have written detachments, and that is how I wrote them. Is like a rule. I've written multiple ones. I've done like mini like mechanics shit, but then also the rule, and then you do like a shadow bonus, like you just said.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
but
like,
not
let's
like
say to
you get.
use Sinesh as an example, right? Everyone can always advance in charge. That's Sinesh, but whilst you're in shadow, you also get sustained hits on your attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is fine. I think if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. I think that's fine. If you want to keep army, keep Shadow of Chaos as the, which I guess they wouldn't change the army rule because no one that's got a codex has had their army rule changed, right? Everyone's kept the same army rule. It might have slightly changed in wording, like
I think they
over
need
moments.
tweaks more than anything. Yeah. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
like
You can always have that though. You have your basic rule, then yeah. While Corn's in shadows, it gets lethal. While Sentry's in shadow, it gets sustained. You can do all of that, and that's why it'd be so frustrating if we don't get the codex. Though, look at all these ideas we've had in the last 40 minutes.
I know. It's really not difficult, especially for people like us that know the faction very well. It's really not hard. I just feel like demons write themselves. Everything is there for you.
It's a
Like
perfect.
everything, all four gods have
We're
their
in the
thing.
10th edition of the game, and demons have been around for how many of those editions? You've written rules all throughout all of these editions, and you basically have to keep them exactly the same, and demon players are happy. Like it's ridiculous to get rid of a faction based on the fact that people aren't playing it enough, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if it's based on
It's not-
playing. I bet it's based on selling.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
see,
it's
I don't.
that's their own
Demons
fault because they're not producing enough new models for
No,
it.
but the
Yeah.
thing is with demons is we. It's not that we're not played enough because there are. You find we are definitely a faction that suffers with the whole. When demons are not good, it is literally only the hardcore players playing them. But when demons are a bit more, because I find there are a surprising amount of players that actually do have demons. Generally, people that have accrued them through allies and then built up enough to go, oh shit, I can run a demon army. But then you've also got players like us that have been playing them for a long time, like 15 odd years or 17 years or whatever, that have them and they play them. Because I find demons are a very it's not an army you jump on to do something different. Generally, it's an army that you play because you do like it. But I think it is. I think their thought process is literally they want to try and because they did it with the old world, right?
Yep.
They literally cut out. Didn't they get rid of beastmen from Sigma so you could only
And
run
to be
them in
fair,
old
they
world?
got rid of Beastmen, but they
Yeah.
also looked at their main. What's the main army called in that one? Stormcast, whatever they're called.
Stormcast.
And they cleared out a load of the models and redone them all, and half the models weren't even that old.
Yeah,
No.
they got rid of like, well, basically anything that mostly had a bow gone.
It's almost like
And it was just like,
Triberas
and it's not like
like
yeah,
redone.
they didn't redid it. It was just like, yeah, you can't use this anymore. And like I heard from so many Sigma players going, sweet, that is literally like thousands of my collection useless, like thousands of points. And it's just like, fuck. um, yeah, I don't know. If they're trying to stream like, no, we don't want you to be able to cross over, it just feels bad. That just feels really bad if that's their reasoning of we just don't want you to be able to. Because then, but then at the same time, if they're still using the models in 40k for the other factions, like as ally bits. Why? It just doesn't make sense. I
Well,
don't know.
what's
I just I
determined
actually
the
don't
fact
think
that
it
demons
makes
should
sense.
stay in AOS and shouldn't be in 40k? Like how has that been decided?
I,
Because
Demons are too integral, in
demons,
my opinion. Now,
demons are the future to the law. They're just
yeah,
so important
you
to the law now. 40k.
you look at so much of the lore, you look at so much of the artwork. Demons are literally involved in so much. So I don't know. We could go on about this for hours, right? But we should we should probably cut it there. So I wanted to keep this down to an hour to an hour and a half, and we smashed up the pieces. So oh well. So we are going to end it there because again, we could just keep at this point. It's just us chatting shit. Um, please, can I borrow that Nurgle for the first round? Please.
It's called the little unclean one. We don't
little
call
unclean one
it
just
the
keeps
little
making
unclean
his
one.
way into the frame again.
Can't see it on there, I don't think, but little unclean one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
That's it.
try that still.
I love that. I need to get one. I'm definitely going to get one for Atlanta, and then I'm going
he's
to
gonna
take
sit.
it.
He's gonna sit and play doubles with us, Franco. He's probably gonna be more used than me after
I
a few.
mean,
Is that really your
I was
third
going
Great
to say,
Unclean one, Franco? Like you don't
I was
actually
just about
have
to
a third
say,
one?
he looks like he's probably bigger than Grant Clement, so I can't just put him on the base and move him. But he can definitely sit near my Grant Clement.
I'm just
If
gonna.
you could like make
I
a
can tell. I can already
polystyrene
tell he's
frame or
bigger than a
something,
Grant Clement.
He is but actually. He's not by as much as I thought he was when looking at it.
No,
Luke's just conveniently got a Great Unclean one on his desk at the same time.
Not
Just,
quite. But
aha!
I have a base. He does fit.
Oh,
Wow.
please bring the base. Even if it's just a joke, I just put him down and be like, this is one of my ground clean ones. I don't see how anyone would even have an issue with that. It's like, oh,
Not in
fine.
doubles. They wouldn't in doubles, would they?
And the main event probably, but the doubles I don't. The doubles are fuck about.
But in the main
Right,
event,
we
he's a
are
miracle dice holder.
right. We're gonna call it there because we've been babbling for ages, and I've got one more day of work, and then I'm off for 3 days. I'm so excited. I say I'm off for 3 days. Doing 40k at this point feels like a second job, but it's 3 days of fucking about. So I can't wait to see you both this weekend. I'm
Good.
very excited. We get do our doubles and then try and not go 2 and 3 in the main event and have fun and all that jazz. And if you see any of us, please say hello because we don't bite. Well, it depends. I
We
guess it
don't
depends
don't
if
bite if you bring
how.
alcohol. Oh, that's just me. But
Just about to say, it depends on how much Luke has drunk. Um, but we will call it there. And I'm not even going to give an estimation on episode 3. Hopefully next month. Um, but we will see.
Post
Yeah.
LGT, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we're doing one next week, Franco.
Yeah,
Are we?
Me and Byron are
yeah,
organising this. It sounds like we need to do it, Byron.
yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. We got one next week then. Sorry.
We'll put something in
I
your
don't know.
calendar this time.
We well, no, we can. I just thought you. I don't know. I don't know. Well, you get it when you get it. You do it when we do it, and we will definitely do some post LGT stuff. So we are. I'm going to call it now. Right. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like and subscribe, and join in the conversation if you see this before LGT, and let us know how you think we'll get on. And then also the most important answer we need from you is, what do you prefer? Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda's, Lidl's, or Aldi's? Because that is the important one that we care about. Why
Asda.
is it Sainsbury? I'm a Sainsbury boy. Even at Rumour Cart, I'm
Anywhere
still a
who's got
Sainsbury.
beer.
Which is
I
all of them.
expected that.
Luke loves them all. Thank you for tuning in. And we will catch you all in the next one.
See you all soon.